Today I'm out doing some inspection on the RV, and I'm going to take you around the trailer as I go through some of the things that I look for and inspect, just to make sure everything is in working order so that I am ready to go on my next camping trip. I have my flashlight here, so follow along, let's go. So let's start up front. I have a fifth wheel. I'm going to check everything, including my pin box here. I'm going to check my cables. This is a cover that I have on it, but I'm going to check everything in here, all my cables, make sure everything is connected okay. My breakaway cable is fine. The lights are working. Just a visual inspection of this area. On this Anderson hitch, you just want to make sure that these are tight, bolts here, and that it's nice and secure. So here in my little toolbox I have the hex socket that fits up in here, and I'm going to torque this and just double check that it's okay. So that was a good idea that I checked that, because it was a little bit loose. One of them was just needed to be tightened. While I was out here inspecting the hitch area, I noticed on the end of my electrical 7-way pin a little bit of, looks like a little bit of corrosion here. I want to check these connectors too every now and then. I have a bit of dielectric grease. I'm going to just put that on this area here and clean this up a bit. Let that sit in there. My basement area here, I have all my electrical components, my batteries. Just going to make sure all my connections are secure. Batteries are secured down with my ratchet straps, nothing is loose. And then all my solar connections over here, everything is looking good and nothing looks out of the ordinary. Just check all my connections. And then in this area I also have the hydraulic equalizer system for my hydraulic jacks. Just make sure these connections are all okay, all the fittings look good, and that I have hydraulic fluid in the reservoir. Nothing's leaking. Yep, so that all looks fine. So things like this you can check. Your trailer may be different, but these are just general preventative maintenance items that you want to look at every now and then. Moving along now to my jacks. I check these because I have replaced this before. I had one leaking. Obviously I would know if it's leaking because I would see the leak here, but I just do a once around on all of these and make sure I have no leaks and that everything looks good. I have 6 of those, so I'll do that. In my basement area, I'm in here quite a bit, so it's not like I need to double check anything, but I just do look through here, make sure all the wires, all my lines are okay. You can check I have a central vac. I could clean it at this time. If I really wanted to go in depth in here, I would get into this compartment back here where all my wiring is for my surge protector, and just make sure there's no mice droppings, any nests back in there, and that it's all nice and clean and everything is connected and looks good. Any place that you can access the wiring area underneath your trailer, it's a good idea just to check it every now and then. Doing a visual inspection on the sides of the trailer, make sure, and this is, going down the road at 60 miles per hour, and all these nuts and bolts sometimes come loose. So I just do a visual inspection, make sure that nothing looks like it's coming loose, any of these. If so, I would tighten it and do the same for both sides of the trailer. The tires are something you want to keep up on and inspect every single trip you're out. One thing that you also want to do every now and then is make sure that your lug nuts are nice and tight. So let me do that. Obviously these have been torqued the last time I had the tire changed or put on, but you just want to make sure that, see, that one was a little loose, that they're all just nice and snug. That was quite a bit loose. Well, I shouldn't say loose, but definitely all of them appear that, you know, they could use a little tightening. And you want to make sure that you have one of these sockets that actually fit the lug nuts, because not all sockets will fit these lug nuts. I learned that the hard way. And then while you're down here, you can check the tire tread on all the tires on the outside and on the inside, and just make sure that there's nothing weird, no uneven tread or uneven wear or any bald spots or bubbles or anything like that. So you want to check all the tires as well. And then while you're under the trailer and checking the tires, you want to look at your leaf springs. These are the leaf springs here, and just make sure they're not broken. They do break, and just make sure everything under here on the axles look fine. Unusual under the trailer. See, I have a screw coming out right here. I can fix that. But looking along the trailer down here, look at all your lines. And again, I'm looking at that those leaf springs, that axle, that tire. Let's look at the other side here. I have a bit of wiring hanging down here. I'm going to zip tie that up. So that's kind of hanging low. I don't want it to get caught on something. And there's one more axle, leaf springs down there. And then let's fix this screw over here. Oh, I gotta get the right tool for this. Sometimes that's the crazy thing about RVs. The nuts and bolts are all different sized, and it took me a while to find the right. This was like a hex. Anyway, so you're gonna discover that on your own RV. So have plenty of various tools on hand. And coming around to this side of the trailer, this is the driver's side, the hookup side. This is where my refrigerator is. It's under this door here. I'm gonna look in there. You wanna always check the back side of your refrigerator. I have a fire extinguisher right there, but you wanna look in this area and just make sure there's no nests or cobwebs. All right. That everything looks okay. Bugs like to get up in here, and you can blow it out. If it's dirty, mine looks completely fine. While we're over here, you can check the inside of your water heater. Yours may be different than mine, but I'm gonna look in here and make sure it's nice and clean, that there's no nests or bugs that have gotten in here, that everything is intact. Mine looks nice, clean. So if it was dirty, you would just blow it out and clean it out. Side note, I highly recommend getting these for any open vents that you have. They're really cheap, and they're just bug covers, or wasps and bugs and everything like to get up in these vents, and they can build nests, and then you can eventually get a problem. So then you can look at your wet bay area. Mine looks like this. I use it all the time. I know it's all in good working order. Your valves, when you are out camping, you can put some silicone on these and just keep them lubed up. Under here is my inverter. I just checked to make sure it's all still connected okay. It's working. It's not loose. All my wiring up here for my slides and everything are okay. Again, I'm in this area a lot as well, so I would know if something is wrong, but you just want to check these areas. Your propane tanks are another area that you can check. If you store your RV or you have had them off for a while, you just want to make sure that they are working and that you have propane in the tanks. Again, I use this a lot, so I know this area and these propane tanks are full and that everything is fine in here. But you can check your gas lines and connections. So on the connection side of the trailer, you can check if you have a built-in reel for your electric cord, you can check that. Again, I'm in here a lot, so everything looks fine down in here. The plug looks fine. I would know if something's wrong. You can put dielectric grease on this just to keep it from corroding. But this is one area you can check, and if your electric cord is just loose, then you can check the ends of that and make sure it's all okay. Down here I have my sewer hose holder. I know that I did a DIY on this. There's a video, I can link that, on how I built this ammo box to hold and house my sewer hose. I'm down here a lot as well, so I know that everything is working, but you can just check down here and make sure it's secure. Again, I'm down here looking at all my lines, looking at the back side of the axles and the leaf springs. And then you want to check your spare tire and make sure your spare tire is working. I know, and it's a good spare tire, and that the date is not old, worn out spare tire. Believe me, you'll need that spare tire if you ever have a flat, and if it is an old spare tire, it's not going to do you any good. I know mine is good. I just used it last year. And then lastly, you want to get up on the roof. I have a ladder to get up on mine. If you don't, use your ladder from the house and inspect the roof. A couple things you want to look for in your inspection are the seals here. Just making sure that sealant, the decor, is still good. You can also check all of your screws and make sure they're still covered. So I'm checking this seal here. You want to check all the seals around the vents. This is the AC unit. I'll do a video later on how to clean that. For now, just a visual inspection. Make sure the cap is okay. I have solar up here and you can see they're dirty. Wash those off. While I'm up here, I can also check all of the sealant around mounts for the solar, as well as the wiring for the solar. Just make sure it's all intact. Check all the sealant around the vents. You can check the skylights, make sure there's no cracks in them. You can also clean them while you're up here. On these vents that are controlled with moisture, this is the element that detects moisture. You can also make sure that's wiped off and cleaned. You can clean out on the inside here. You can see it's dirty. I can wipe all this down. Here's my solar connections. Just checking to make sure that they're all still nice and connected. The wiring is okay. And again, that all my decor is sufficient on all the seals up here. You can also check for things like unusual bubbling or tearing or any holes in the membrane here. This is normal on mine. It's always been like this, so nothing of concern. So those are pretty much the things I cover on the outside of the trailer. I have 2 awnings here. I have slide outs. When I'm camping, I actually check all of the mechanisms for the slide outs, and if they need any sort of lubrication, I do it at the campground. I know my awnings are in working order. They're good. I know the slides are good because I just checked that on the last time I was out. And that's pretty much it for the outside. The inside, I'll save for a different day. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll subscribe if you found this information useful, I'll be coming out with more videos such as this in the future, and I would love to have you join my traveling community. Take care. Talk to you later.